Well, good day everyone. This is Dr. Shin from the Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, Master University. I'm so happy once again I am with you, and we are going to share some good news about the conference that we have in Master University. And today I'm going to share some knowledge that how you can write the best manuscript for any IR 4.0 conferences. Today actually we are going to focus more on the Master University conferences that is going to be in this month in June. So if you haven't sent your paper, you still have time. I will later share the way that you can submit your manuscripts. And today I'm gonna share some knowledge that I'm sure most of you knows, but probably those very junior PhD students or master's students who doesn't know that how can write the paper or how they can make their paper better for getting the better acceptance and assure their acceptance in any conferences or any other journal publications. So I hope this information helps you with that. So let me share my screen with you guys. And okay, there we are. So as I said, how to write the best manuscript and paper for IR 4.0 conferences. Once again, this is Dr. Shin from the Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, Department of Civil Engineering in Master University in Malaysia. Cool. So these are what we are going to go through today, starting from the course of actions and type of different manuscripts and the other options that we have for the publication. Then we will go through the selection of appropriate or the quality of journals that we are going to choose. Journal metrics, submission of manuscript, Google Scholar, and manuscript preparation. So I'm going to go actually very fast today after that because I'm going to actually introduce the Master University Conference in Engineering towards the IR 4.0. So please accept my apology if I'm going very fast throughout all these slides. So first and foremost, we need to know that what is our target for research and publication. So we need to know that having some publication as an academician, as a master's student, as a PhD fellow or student, helps us to build the essential abilities and professional skills. For sure, it will open various opportunities for every one of us and allows us to achieve our goals, right? So we can secure some jobs, we can gaining some scholarships, getting some project findings and flowships, grant, business partnership, and so on and so forth. So first of all, we need to know that what can be a potential journal article, right? What can be a very potential manuscript, right? So if you are a research student, if you are doing your postgraduate studies, or even though if you are a bachelor's student, no matter which level you are, you might have for sure the final year project, your thesis, your report, anything like that. So once you finish that, you can come up with a report that can be coming out of that thesis or final year project. And you can like shape it like an article, means that the article has some, steps that later I will share with you. If you shape that one with the one that we are looking for, then it is ready to submit to any publisher, to any journals, to any conferences, and easily can get published. One thing that is very important, make sure that the plagiarism is very important matter, right? We should not just copy and paste. We need to go through any type of softwares like, I don't know, for example, for instance, Turnitin, and check the similarities, right? And we make sure that the percentage of similarities and plagiarism has been already checked, right? So what we are going to do in that journal article is to explain what we have done during the experimental studies. And then after that, we need to key in the results that have been obtained during that experimental studies or any other type of study, then we need to interpret and significant the data with the future implication. And another thing I need to add to this one is that you need to make sure that your job, what you have done is actually totally new and has not never been done before, right? So there are some guidelines and strategies to publish any paper in high impact journals. Um, I come up with this actually kind of process of publication in 5 steps. First of all, is that you need to complete the research. You cannot go through any publication while you are just in the beginning of your research, right? It is okay if you go in the middle of that. Some people are come up with I don't know, like literature reviews and then publish their reviews in any journals. That is totally fine, but it's better to complete your research. You come up with some at least expected data, or the best one is to have all the data ready, right? And then you need to prepare your manuscript and then makes it ready for the submission for the peer review, or yes, peer review, and then after that expect to be published. So well, we have to decide first of all that which journal is suitable for our manuscript, right? So by reading the scope of the journal, we can make sure that, okay, that journal is really suits my manuscript, my article, my review, or whatever the article is going to be published. And then the quality of journal is very important. We need to know that, okay, how many index that journal has. Is it ISI? Is it Scopus index? What else index that journal has? That's very important, that shows actually us a quality of that journal, as well as the Q1, Q2, Q3, the quarter of that journal. And then we need to choose the related articles in the selected journals and read through and see that if that journals really have some research related to us, maybe we can have some citation of those articles in our manuscript. Then we check the impact factor, as I said, and then the publication frequency. Is it the biannual? Is it the quarterly? Is it the, I don't know, like monthly publisher? So we need to make sure about the publication frequency. If we are in rush of publication, we need to make sure that the publication frequency is high and the journal is in demand of any paper submission. So that is very important. And then last but not least is a publication history. Some journals coming up with the Scopus index, and they gained their index, just recently, but you need to make sure that they do not have that much self-citations in that journals. Otherwise, you submit your journals, yes, for sure that journal is going to be considered a Scopus index, but at the end of the day, next year, next 6 months, who knows, that journal is come up. You might hear the news that, okay, that journal is coming out from the Scopus list, and then after that, that manuscript is, to be honest, gonna kind of hurt by that, right? So, well, in the type of manuscript, depend on the quality and the length of the paper that you are going to send and submit. You can categorize your manuscript into these actually categories that I brought here. We have journal articles, we have short communication, or we call it brief note, or some journals say viewpoint. We have technical notes, we have review articles, we have comments, and so on. On the other hand, we need to know the options for the journal publication, right? We need to make a choice that this journal is a closed access or the open access journals. For those of you who do not know what are the differences, I'm going to tell you in a very simple way. Those open access journals are free to everyone. So there is a high potentiality of getting more citations after that, which is very good, but you need to know and bear in mind that open access journals are not free. I can say at least like majority of open access journals are not free. And we have the closed access type of journals that you need to be a member of any institutions or You need to gain the access by, I don't know, make yourself one of the subscripts. Go under the subscription of that journal. I'm sorry, and then get access, to that journal. Otherwise, you cannot get access to any articles that has been published on that journal or has been published by that publishers. And another thing is that you need to know your publishers. Is it the Elsevier, IEEE, I don't know, really Springer or IET? And the thing is that I'm saying that you need to know your publisher. It doesn't mean that every publisher is going to suit your article. So you need to go through different publishers and see that which one suits you and which one can bring you closer to your target of publication, right? For example, I'm saying that if you're going to go publish on Elsevier, there are some journals that have a very fast processing and some journals that might take 1 year, to get published. So you might have another option, in Springer, or some other options in IEEE or Wiley or Taylor and Francis, So you need to know that which publisher can really suit your article, right? So after that, you need to select the appropriate journal by knowing the index. There are so many indexes, starting from the DOAJ, which is the Directory of Open Access Journals, Google Scholar, IET, PubMed, depends on the field that actually you are in. So you need to make sure that what indexing that journal has and which one you really need to have. Some universities, for example, criteria is that you cannot get graduate unless you publish, for example, one paper, and that paper at least need to be Scopus index, right? So that is where you come to this knowing the indexing of the journal, and that is when it comes to the selection of appropriate journal for you. And the journal metrics is very important, right? This journal citation report, or the JCR, that can be accessible through the link. Later, I will share all these links for you under this actually webinar on the MASA Facebook and the MASA YouTube. You can get access to it, so you can just go through the citation score and then see the journal metrics over there. What you can see is, for example, and this is the one example of one of the journals. You can see it says Scopus index, and it shows the citation received in 4 years, for example, in Scopus since 2016 up to 2019, for example. And then it shows you the impact factor of that journal in the Web of Science for those journals that has the ISI index, right? And then you can see even the citable documents for the period of the 2 years and so on. So as I said, like for the Scopus database and Word of Science, WOS database, I will share all these links for you that later you can get access to these site scores. Well, as I said that for the journal metrics, like for example, here we searched the Nature Energy, right? So you can go through the sources, like for example, here is in the Scopus. And then after that, through the sources, you can type key in your title, and then after that, find all the sources. Then it shows the site score under that link that you searched. And then in terms of the details of that source, you can see, like, for example, in the right side where the red triangle shows that the site score of the 2018, for example, 26.88, right? Or SJR is a 16.918, and so on. So you can have all the information about the metrics of that journal and see that how good that journal is, right? Another good thing about every journal is the quartile of that journals, right? We simply say the Q1, Q2, Q3 like that, and most of the supervisors are really approaching to their students, and I'm not saying forcing them, but encourages them to go for the Q1 and Q2 journals. I'm gonna clarify this one. It doesn't mean that the Q3, Q4 journals are not good. It's not true. The thing is that for sure that quartile is coming from the top 25% the respective area of that journal. So that quartile actually show the dignity of that journal. So it doesn't mean that if you publish your journal in the Q3 or Q4 quartile is very bad. No, it doesn't mean at all. So on the other hand, you need to have the key point, right? You need to use the manuscript matcher. Again, I'll be sharing the link for you. Then after that, you can see that how your manuscript is matched with those journals, right? And there are some other methods as well. Like for example, Elsevier has a service that you can easily upload your abstract of your manuscript, and it will come up with a bunch of suggestions for you, and you can easily find, the suitable journals if you are still in the beginning of your publication, right? And then you need to see the focus and the scope of the journal, the peer review process, which we know that most of the scholarly scientific journals are practicing actually the peer review, which is double blind. Let me open it again for you guys in the beginning of this in this field of research. When we are talking about the double blind, we are saying that neither reviewer nor the authors are not knowing each other, right? So it means that it's going to be totally anonymous, and nobody knows who have been submitted that paper, and the author would not know who reviewed that paper, right? It's going to be a double blinded. So that is to ensure the quality of paper which is going to publish on that journal, right? Then in terms of the submission of your manuscript, you need to select a suitable journal, and then after that, for sure, register yourself as a user, right? And then log in as author and then submit your new manuscript. So you can see, like in this slide, that you can have all the journals on Elsevier, for example, and then after that, you can go to the login. And then before that, you need to go to all the journals have one link that it's like sometimes saying that for authors or any other kind of things like that describe the rules and regulation of the submission of that paper. I mean, the format of that paper, which is very important, right? So when you register, you can register yourself under your institution email or any other type of email and just choose a password for yourself. Nowadays, you can use any other type of registration to register yourself under any journals before the publication. And then after that, you will see something like this window that I brought here that has the submit new manuscript. This is from actually Elsevier. It doesn't mean that all the journals have the same. Elsevier, the good thing about the Elsevier Springer, I haven't seen it in Willy, but most of the journals has the same platform. No matter which journals you are submitting, as long as the publisher is the same, they are having the same pop-up window, for you, so you can go through the same, what is that, editorial board and do your new submission over there and submit it. So, and then after that, you can submit your manuscript, and you need to just only follow those steps. That first of all, you need to select the article type. If you remember, I told you that you need to know what article you have written, right? Like, for example, is it the review article? Is it the manuscript? Is it the, like the notes to editor or any other type of articles that you have? First, you need to select that. Then after that, enter the title, and then you have, they will give you a chance to submit all those, abstract keywords. Your paper. Some journals need, the title and any other things. Some journals need you to submit even the biodata and any other, information. So it depends on the journal and the publisher. You need to follow those steps and then follow the instruction and then easily submit your paper. After you submit your paper, you will receive an email that has been kind of confirmation of the submission. And then after that, it can guide you to this kind of page, and then you can see that your paper, like before it goes under review, it is sometimes showing that with editor, and then after that it's going under review, and then every time that every time actually the journal will update you, keep you posted about the condition of your manuscript. Is it under review? Is it accepted? Is it, I don't know, need a revision? And then you need to, I don't know, submit again the revised manuscript, or there are some comments from the reviewer. Then after that, finally, it's gonna get accepted, right? So another thing that I brought in this presentation is that make sure that you all have a Google Scholar profile. You all have your Facebook, Instagram, and any other TikTok, whatever things, social app, profile. But you are researcher, you are academician, or you are gonna be an academician, right? You are gonna be in this field. So the most important things, one of the most important things actually, is that having a Google Scholar profile, which helps you to which helps you to kind of show everyone all your publication, the citations. It's also good for you because Google Scholar, automatically update, the citations that you have if all those journals has been indexed by Google Scholar. This is very important. If it is not, no. But there's an option that you can just key in those publication manually in your profile, right? So one of the things that in the beginning I mentioned is the structure of your manuscript. Like, you cannot just submit whatever you have from your thesis or your final project or whatever you have done in your research, in your experimental studies. No, you need to shape it. You need to structure it, right? So most of the papers have this structure. I'm not saying that this is the only one. No, for sure, it can be so many things inside, but this is the most common one, that it starts with a title and affiliation, and then you start with your abstract and some keywords, normally limited to 5. Then you have the introduction, then material and methods, or here that's where I'm saying that so many things come in, that some people put the literature review before the methodology. So it goes to the methodology, and then it goes to another chapter of the findings and the result, and then you can have the discussion or conclusion, or discussion and conclusion together or separately. And then you can acknowledge if you have any grant from your institution, or if you want to acknowledge your supervisor or your colleagues. And then the most important thing is that you need to have a reference. There are some videos of mine on YouTube and Facebook of Master University. You can go and find them if you just search my name, Shin To Amiri, or you go to the Master University. I have over there, actually, I explained that how you can work with the reference managers applications like Mendeley. And later, for sure, I will have another session for the EndNote. So many of you guys actually commented that you want to know about the EndNote. I will do that. But Mendeley, which is my favorite one, I have done that one previously so many times. You can find those videos for sure to see how you can actually manage your references and citation inside your articles. Well, in terms of title, it is normally around 15 words. I'm saying that this is not compulsory for you guys. We have so many other articles that you can search and see that it has less than 15 or more than 15 words. And then it needs to have a brief phrase, inside the title, and shows, those keywords of your work, which describe and reflects of the content of the paper. For example, if you have worked on I'm a civil engineer, I'm saying that into the civil engineering, then after that you extend it into your major. But I'm saying, like, for example, if you are working on pile foundation, for sure the pile need to be there, right? The foundation need to be in your title. The methods of the method that you have done that research need to be on that title as well, right? On the other hand, the title need to be concise, specific, and informative, which means that if I'm gonna search your paper on, we were talking about the Google Scholar, let's say Google Scholar. right? I'm searching your paper over there and just like reading your title, and it doesn't give me that much information I need. I'm just easily pass, and go through the some other, title which gives me exactly what I want, right? So it's really important that you make your title informative and concise, clean and concise. And please avoid the abbreviation, because I don't know what those abbreviation you use. Like for example, I was working so much in the crush class. If I put like CG and you just like go through my what is that, my publication, my paper, and see that using the CG and just like blah 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 blah, and then you say that what is CG? So do not use those abbreviation, prepositions, and any formula as much as you can, as much as it's possible for you. It's not really common, to be honest, to put it in the title. And there are some questions that you need to answer, and answer with that title to yourself. You ask yourself that what my paper is about, and see that title can cover that or not. The techniques and the designs that you have used to come up with those, results. The study, what did you study, and what were the results, coming from. And if you can answer all these questions through your title, then you can make sure that, okay, your title is sufficient and suitable for that journal. I'm sorry, for that article. Then these are some answers. For example, I just exemplified. I just drink some water. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, you need to answer these questions that I showed you here. So these are some answers. For example, my paper studies whether the nanofluid improves the heat transfer, or the lattice Boltzmann simulation method, or so many other things. You know what I mean? So after you answer the questions, you can build the sentence with these keywords that you have. For example, you had the heat transfer, you have nanofluid, you have the improvement, and then in terms of method, you have the lattice Boltzmann simulation method, and then you have all these things. You know what I mean? So from all those keywords that you have found on your answers that you gave to those questions, you can come up with a very nice title. For example, you can see here it's a simulation of force convention in a channel with nanofluid by the lattice Boltzmann method. It gives you all the things that you want. If someone is looking for this type of simulation, if someone is looking for doing some research in the improving the heat transfer in nanofluids, immediately would go through your paper. And if that paper is very good, if you published it in very good, publication journals, publishers, I know, high impact factor, so for sure they will cite your paper. Number of citation is very important. So when we go through the manuscript after the title and those affiliations, we have the abstract. And then after that, we have the introduction, right? So it's an importance of your work, the difficulty of the area, impact it might have if successful. Then after that, you need to bring your problem statement. What is the problem statement? Most of you know that. What are those problems that you face to? And those problems actually brought you where you are in that research. And then the way you approach to solve those problems, and then how you got the results. So you see, like, this is the example of the one abstract that it has its introduction, it has the problem statement, which is like, for example, the difficulties associated with blah 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 blah. These difficulties shows the problem statements, shows that why you have done this research. And then in the approach part, in the green section, you will show your reader that how you approached to that problem. And then in terms of results, you briefly explain that the result shows that, okay, this one is improved that way or this way, or you have done you have gained, these kind of result and these answers, you know what I mean? It needs to be very brief because you have this result section later in your paper for sure. But here, you need to just briefly mention about what exactly you found. And then in the conclusion part, you need to conclude all these things together, summarize it, and just put it over there. Concise, clean, and very informative abstract. And then in terms of keywords, as I said, like most of journals ask you for around 4 to 5 keywords. You need to find those keywords to be aligned with your title and with your manuscript. So this is very important. Finding the keywords are very important. Putting the keywords are very important. I'm saying it so many times to my students as well. Like the keywords are the key for having higher citations of your journals. Believe me. So in terms of introduction, which is the first section of your paper, you need to have the aim, the target of that introduction. You need to actually introduce the specific subject of the research that reader need to know that what you have done in that part. Very briefly, you don't need to go for the introduction for so many pages. It can be just only 2 or 3 paragraphs or even 1 paragraph, depends on what you are going to write and the limitation of words that you have. But it needs to be very brief. It needs to brings your reader exactly to the point that this paper is talking about this. It started from this and going through that and then come up with this. As simple as that. You need to show the what is that, the way, the path in your introduction. And then you go to the methods. Which methods have you used? Did you do a numerical study? Did you do the experimental study? Did you do, the mixed study? What type of study did you do, right? So you need to make sure that the methods are clearly mentioned over there. Most of the comments coming from the reviewers of journals are actually related to these methods. That is very important. You need to make sure that the method, because you know what, the thing is that the methods actually is connected to your literature review. You need to read a lot of papers. You need to make sure that the method that you used in that research are really connected with what you have done. So there is a connection between your literature review, your methodology, and then your result. This is very important. So at the end, you have the result and discussion, which is showing, that what you gain in that study, which is again need to be aligned with your literature review and your methodology. And then you need to show all the limitations that you face with, or all the limitation you have, or the techniques limitation that you have in that study. And then how did you avoid any errors? How did you do the calibration, the sufficient number of figures and table you need to put over there to shows your result? You need to have also a very nice description for every single figures, tables that you put in your article that shows that how these figures and tables are showing the result. It doesn't make any sense that you just like put a bunch of figures and tables and you make them colorful and you think that, okay, this manuscript is publishable or acceptable by any journals. No, it's not like that. You can have just only 1 or 2 very nice figures or tables that shows what you have done, which brings the reader exactly to the point, and done. And then after that, you have the conclusion or the summary, or you can have them both together, that it's conclude, all the sections together, which is a very important actually part of your manuscript, because it points all the things that you have done throughout this manuscript, right? So you need to actually make your journal shine. What does it mean? We know that most of us are not a native English speaker. The English is our second language. So we need to make sure that our journal is, our paper is actually written correctly in terms of grammar, in terms of English, so you need to go through the proofreading, through the editing. So some universities have this kind of what is that, facilities for their students, that they have a cooperation with other faculties like the linguistic faculties, so they send the paper over there. Some other do not have, so you need to find some other people, or maybe some native speakers, to go through, or maybe discuss with your supervisors. Or you can easily use some other application or website, like we have Grammarly, we have the Fiverr. Fiverr is a freelance website. It's not a proofreading website, but on Fiverr, you can even register yourself, and it's a very nice website, to be honest. You can work freelance, over there, and earn some money. But there are so many people over there that they are doing the proofreading and editing of your article with a very, very reasonable price. So you can try it, give it a try. Believe me, it's very nice. Okay, these are all the things that I was about to say about how we can write a journal. Now I want to tell you about a very, very nice conference that we have from Massa University. So if you go through the massa.edu.my, and if you go to research, then you can see here conferences, right? So once again, I'm showing you massa.edu.my, and then you can go to research, and then you can find the conferences, and there we are. You can see all the conferences going to be conducted by Massa University in this year, 2021. And you can see the first one, 18-19 June, Massa International Technology and Engineering Conference in 2021, or MiTEC 2021. If you go through, you will see the theme, objective, scopes, committee, speakers, every information that you want. I cannot wait, to be honest, to see all your papers to be submitted here. We are still accepting the papers, and make sure that your paper are gonna be reviewed by all my colleagues, and we have some external reviewer from other universities all around the world, and because this is an international conference. And make sure that we are going to review your papers anonymously. We are not going to know that who the authors are. You're not going to know who your reviewers are. And I hope that you can get publish some papers in this conference. Altogether, I am so happy once again. I've been with you guys. I make it very sure. I didn't want you guys to disturb your time, to be honest. But wherever you are, try to stay home, stay safe, wearing masks. We are still faced with pandemic. We are still fighting with this COVID-19 virus. I wish you all the best. Be in touch. I'm always available. You can find me through my email. It is shinto@massa.edu.my, or you can just easily go to our faculty website and faculty Facebook, Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, Massa University. You can get in touch with all my colleagues, and we would be so happy to give you our knowledge and share our knowledge. Okay, cool guys. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much. Bye.